Hello and welcome back to The Artisan of Glimmers. We are currently in the Precision region. Last time we earned the Silver Frame. Now onto more puzzles. Same grid again, this time with Precision 8. What I mean is, all of these 4 puzzles had this grid, just with different precision values. Okay, back to the puzzle. Precision 8. All regions must have a size of exactly 8. The grid contains 40 tiles. If we divide the grid size by the region size, we get the amount of regions that must be in the puzzle. This time it's 5. Tiles in cul-de-sacs need to extend to reach size 8. This region on top here is suspicious because if this one wouldn't join to these two, then it needs to escape through this gap. And these tiles don't have a lot of space. 2 to connect them, another one can't connect it down there or they would reach size 9. So only 1 from here and 2. Barely. They reach barely 8, so that's not the break-in. Okay, back to the cul-de-sacs. Now the search for other problematic gaps. Here's the barrier. Barriers need to separate 2 different regions. So this region cannot leave through this gap and must go through there. Because otherwise it would need to take this tile and be on both sides of the same barrier. This corner can only merge with yellow. Five and 3, so you could add to an 8. But these barriers look difficult. Remember, yellow is finished now because it got its 8 tiles, so these function as cul-de-sacs. The second region needs to get out too, so it pushes purple into red. The given barriers are hard to see when it's purple. Now we got a problem because the only tile both regions can go to is this one. We know both regions can't merge from this border. And red can't escape others because it can't take this tile. So the puzzle is broken if yellow connects here. This barrier now pushes red up. 7, so can't merge with the domino. You merge with this green. Must be different from that. Still needs 1 more. And you get down. Now if this region comes to the tile below, all of these 3 tiles need to merge with it. But it's currently size 6, so 6 plus 3 is already 9. So here's a barrier. Now you're size 8. And we found 3 of our 5 regions. Yellow and blue must be the 2 remaining ones. This barrel touches yellow, so the other side is blue. Blue needs to reach size 8, so it must go through this tile. This corner can only be blue. Now blue can only take 3 more tiles, and this corner is 4 tiles away, so it must be yellow. Yellow only needs 1 more tile, and it needs to touch both borders, so it needs to go in the center. Another 5, 4, 4, 2, let's take the 2. Precision 60 in 120 tiles. So 2 regions. Oh, here's a cul-de-sac. Can't go up here, or you would be on both sides of that border. Or here because of this border. And again. One last time. The other side of the borders must be the second available region. Is this tile too? Blue needs to touch all of these barriers, so it must go through this tunnel. And the barriers force it to go in a zigzag. These borders needs a yellow. Wait, blue can't go in here anyway. How big is blue? 56, so 4 more tiles. 1, you need to get out. 2, you connect there, and 3 and 4. And that's at 60. Five. There's a puzzle on this roof, also 5. Let's take the 3. Precision 5 and Gemini. The 2 regions touching this symbol must be the same shape. 35 tiles divided by region size 5 equals 7 regions. These big squares are 9 tiles big, so to reach a count divisible by 5 they need to have a region poking in them. So this square is made up of one region that takes care of 5 tiles, and the remaining 4 tiles merge with the protrusion. So this is the 5th tile and thereby the endpoint. The other side works the same. 5 tiles for a contained region, 4 tiles to merge with the protrusion, and this is the end point, because it's the 5th tile. Now here's the cul-de-sac. You are a Gemini, and this shape can't be a V pentomino. You are the Gemini of an n-pentomino. The ends are 4 tiles apart, so the protrusion must also be part of the Gemini. Precision 5 and Gemini. And 4 given shapes. The remaining grid is 45 tiles big. Divided by 5 equals 9 regions. And the Geminis are 4 of them. So 5 different regions that are not part of the Geminis. Which tiles can't be them? Oh, it's easier. This W. The Gemini can't go like this, because then here's a tile isolated in the corner. So the W needs to be placed like that. Given I haven't missed a possible rotation. The small square must all be part of this shape, because in its 5 moves it will definitely hit this tile. Now the other 2 have no choice but to join. This Gemini can either be placed like this, or like that. But the cul-de-sac must be one of these 2 points, so at least the 4 tile line is guaranteed. Here's the new cul-de-sac. Can't go to this Gemini, or it would need to be an n-pentomino, but it doesn't have the space to be one. You only have one option. You need to get out, which now fixes the Y. This tile here is part of a V, but it can't be in the same rotation as this one, because then here is either 3 tiles left over or 2 tiles. So it must turn in the region above. But if it would turn on this tile, then here's a tetromino square. So it must be placed like that. Precision 5 and Delta. The 2 regions touching this symbol must be different shapes. "60 tiles in the grid divided by 5 equals 12 regions. Here's the cul-de-sac. Can't go to its own border. You need to grow. Can't be a V pentomino because of this delta. So you go to there. Now you need to extend. and can't be an N. If you take this domino, then you're a W, but you can't be one. So you need to take this tile. Now you have options. Let's look at the other cul-de-sacs. This tile needs to get down and either connect with this two or just these two. And this shape can't go through its own border. U dominoes might merge. Here's another cul-de-sac. I think this tile must also be part of the new region, because it can't join to a red to a size 6 or to teal, because while teal itself would work as a V pentamino, but this red is now only a tetramino, and 4 is too small. Now the teal only has 2 places, so it must join to this red domino. This must be a new region, it's too far away from this. If red takes this tile, then teal must take care of this one, because red is already finished. But now they are both L pentaminos, and they must be different. So it can't get down and must be an F pentamino. Now teal needs one more tile, and it can't be this one, or it would be an F2, and they'd be the same shape again. Delta of a T. Don't know yet if they join or not. I do know. If they join, they need one more tile, and no matter which it is, they'd be a Y pentamino, and they can't be one. Red cannot go here because of that barrier. You can't be a mirror image. This tile can only be reached by that shape. Red can only take one tile from here, so it must go down. And now it must avoid being an n-pen terminal. No puzzles here. Okay, then this one. Precision 4 in 36 tiles. 36 divided by 4 equals 9 regions. And here are some cul-de-sacs. There must be different regions on the other side of the borders. Can we use that somehow? I don't see how. Any other weak points? The grid is so open. The top left corner looks like the only place which has at least a little bit of pressure. This tile needs to connect upwards, because if it wouldn't, then it must come down here. Can't merge with this blue or they would be 5 tiles big, so it needs to do a turn, and thereby isolate these 3 tiles. It needs to prevent the turn, so it does need to take this tile too. Because otherwise this domino would be isolated. You can't go to this tile or you would be on both sides of the same border. Can't go to your own border. You would be too big. Your own border again. And the last tile. Let's finish today's episode with this 4. Precision 3 and Delta and Gemini. 54 tiles. Divided by 3 equals 10, 18 regions. There's only 2 ways to merge 3 tiles, either as an I or as an L. Here's the cul-de-sac. Can't go to this tile or you would touch Delta and Gemini, and would need to be simultaneously different and the same. So you're an I, which means you're an L. You're also an L, because you're a Gemini, not a Delta. This is an I. It can't be horizontal. And this is an I that must be horizontal. You need to get out and are in the same situation as on top here. Can't go to there or would need to be simultaneously different and the same. You are both L, but can go either way. This big square here contains 9 tiles. 9 is divisible by 3, so if a region would go through this gap and only take 1 or 2 tiles, the remainder can no longer be formed from size 3 regions, so here is a barrier. Since it's now separated from the rest of the grid, it must be solvable. You're one of the 3 shapes. By border, this is the second. And this tile must belong to the third, because it can be red because of the barrier, or blue because the Delta Gemini connection means it's a different shape. This is your third tile, and this is the third tile of blue. Red doesn't have the space to be an I triomino, so it must be an L. So you're an L2, and you're an I. How many tiles are left in this? 21. AKA 7 regions. Not sure what to do with it. This tile is under pressure, because if the L does this, then it's isolated. So the L doesn't do that, and this tile joins to the L, and then takes one of these two. Got something. These L's will either be placed like this, or the right L goes to here, and now the left L must take this tile, because otherwise it will be isolated. The important thing is, no matter which configuration, this tile is always part of an L shape. By Delta this is an I, and by Gemini this is also an I. That can't be placed horizontally. And you don't have enough space to be vertical. Huh? Why didn't it auto-finish? Oh, because he has a barrel missing. That was it for today. Still a long way until we reach gold. 8 puzzles to be exact. Well, thank you for watching.